Oh, hello. Welcome. It is me, Danielle Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. How's everyone? Well, this week we got some interesting stuff, okay? We got some main character energy. We have Mercury, it's going to enter Aries, all about the self. We have Mars entering Leo. People, get off the stage. A lot of that energy. And we do have some grounded energy because happy solar return to all my Taurus. The sun will be entering Taurus this week. And it gets a little bit deeper this week. We have some spirituality, some awakening, some dreams they could be downloading because we have the we have the North Node entertaining Saturn. Okay. So we're going to break it down. A lot of new things happening with Neptune and Aries. And now we have planets activating that. It's going to be really interesting. So if you want to know what's going to happen to the energy, the vibe in the sky with the collective, then you are at the right place. Let's get started.
3, 2, 1.
I love you.
Okay, so I want to put up the dates, and I forgot to actually add this slide in here. I was actually watching Black Mirror because I know everyone's into what is that, White Lotus and some other TV shows, but I was watching Black Mirror. Anyway, here are the dates here that we have. We have April 15th, Mercury enters Aries. April 16th, we have Mercury conjunct Neptune, and Neptune's in Aries. April 17th, Mars enters Leo. April 19th, the Sun enters Taurus. Mars is going to trine Neptune, that's in Aries. And on the 20th, we have the Sun squaring Mars in Leo. And then on the 21st, we have Saturn conjunct the North Node in Pisces. Okay, so hold on. Let me see. I'm trying to have you not see all my background. This is my equipment here. But anyway, we're moving. Not moving, but things are moving around here. So ignore the background. It will be changing. So don't get used to this. Don't get too comfortable. Okay, so let's start off with the week, shall we? I'm going to bring up this beautiful chart here, and we are going to break it down. But first, where is my normal setting? Hold up, wait a minute. Here we go. Never at the front. That's really annoying. Anyway, okay. So am I normally a circle when I do this? I don't. It's because I'm not in the middle of the circle. I think that's okay. You guys are like, what's going on? Who cares? Okay, so let's talk about April 14th. Let me bring up my chart here. We're going to talk about April 14th and get it started. Okay, you guys, today is April 14th. I've discussed this last week, but I'm going to talk about what we have currently going on. Mercury is in Pisces, is at 29 degrees. 29 degrees is a very special degree today. Here it is. Mercury is in Pisces at 29 degrees. This is right before it enters Aries. Okay, so it's going to enter Aries, but before that, there is a final message. Mercury is the planet of communication, thought, perception, technology. Pisces is the sign of dreams, intuition, mysticism, creativity, love, oneness, boundless, no boundaries, art and illusions, and fogginess. Now, when you have 29 degrees, there's an urgency. There's a pressure. It has to complete something. There's a mastery. There's a crisis before a breakthrough. Also, Pisces represents ending, and 29 is like we got to hurry up and end because there's this impending change that's going to happen. There's an urgency to express or understand the qualities of that current sign. So Pisces, there's an urgency to understand what is in Pisces that we need to discuss and communicate. Okay. What are the dreams? What is the intuition? What is the ending? What is the forgiveness? Okay. It's the final stage of processing the lesson of the sign before moving on. So what does this mean? You might be getting a last minute intuitive message today. You might hear like a whisper in your dream tonight, or maybe deeply empathetic or emotional, or maybe a little foggy or overwhelmed, a little lost in the sauce. Maybe there is going to be a psychic flood, or literally a flood. Maybe there's emotional truth happening or rising up of something. Something must be said before it's too late. There might be a pressing need to articulate something that you've been feeling intuitively or feeling periodly, or maybe there's a really creative artistic idea or something that's dealing with compassion and empathy and giving to others. That could be happening before it enters that the sign of the self, but heightened sensitivity, potential for releasing, letting go, forgiveness. Also, this also represents grief and endings, discussions of escapism, drug addiction, you being lost in the sauce, you living in a rose-colored lens. All that could be happening. Also, too, this is the energy of conspiracies and secrets. So let's see what comes out today, if it hasn't already, and secret enemies too. So this is a very high vibration energy. Okay, so you could be having some divine downloads or speaking of the soul, or some synchronicities when it comes to the spirit and communication. Major writing, creativity, major divination, art, music. You know, you're channeling something or you're feeling something when it comes to your art. Now on an, or like feeling one with the collective. Now on the negative side, the shadow side, right? You could be feeling overwhelmed, overly emotional, very sensitive, mental fog. You could be dealing with some grief or some emotional miscommunication, and it's really winding up. It's really like coming to its head, or wanting to escape or procrastinate or do some spiritual bypass, or like last minute confusion, passive aggression. You know, just not wanting to focus on reality and focus in la la land, or just keeping secrets and being deceitful. So just be aware of that. Now, collectively, I do think there could be some messages that are coming out, or there is a strong intuition of something that we feel as a collective, or even empathy that could be happening. Or there could be some confusion out there, because, you know, you never can trust these HOEs out there and the people out there who are trying to not work for their best. That could easily happen. Now, you know, I'm a tarot reader, so I always like to input tarot with this, but this is like the moon. And when you have the moon, it's dark, right? And when you have darkness, there's illusions. You're dealing with your subconscious. You could be dealing with some emotions or things that are very fearful, because in the dark, things are very fearful, and things are in the dark. It's not in the light, so you can't quite see it. So there's things also to the moon is very emotional. So it's dealing with some high emotions, and it runs the water, right? So the water is dealing with our emotions as well. So that is what we have. Now let's move on to the next day, because this is where it gets kind of big, and this is on the 15th. It hasn't shown that yet, so I'll just scooch it over. But on the 15th, you have Mercury entering Aries, right? And actually, I'm going to actually do it to the hour of Mercury. Did I go back? No. On the 15th, yes. Oh. On the 15th, Mercury enters. Okay. Why is it? Oh, is it going to enter? Let me see. Mercury enters Aries at what time? Oops. It's going to enter Aries. Oh, actually, on the 14th, it's going to enter Aries, and it's going to enter it around 8:21 p.m. Okay, so on the 14th, it's going to enter Aries. And then when it enters Aries, and first of all, Mercury is the planet of trade, communication. You're talking about your day-to-day traveling, your siblings, how you input information, how you organize information, siblings, your community, the details, and mental processing. Okay, it's all that and more, but that's like the nutshell. So you can like summarize that and what that means. You guys, why am I pink and red? I feel like I'm coming off pink. I need to figure out how to fix the like the tone on that. That's really annoying. Anyway, but and when you have it in Aries, Aries is about moving fast. It's the daredevil. It wants to be first. It's impulsive. It's about the self. It's about being single. It's not about the collective. So we're leaving the collective and we're focusing on ourselves. We're leaving the endings and we're focusing on new starts. It rules the head, and Mercury was Pisces was ruling the feet. Now Aries is about the head. It's the ruler of Mars. So Mars is also very important. So whatever Mars is doing is going to affect the way we think and communicate. Okay. And Mars is the god of war. And some quick words when it comes to Mars and Aries. We got quick thinking, we got bold speeches, honesty, sometimes kind of blunt. Okay. Not even thinking before you speak, mental confidence, impulsive thoughts of words, clear decisions, very sharp comebacks. Aries represents things that are sharp, so even sharp with the tongue. Mental initiation, Like, let's just get it started already. Why are we waiting? All that, a lot of impatientness when it comes to thinking and processing information. Now, as a collective, people are going to think before they speak. I mean, they're going to talk before they speak. Just get ready for that. A lot of hot takes, a lot of fiery debates, a lot of clapbacks online. Information could be coming fast too. So get ready for that. The news, the stories. It's like, oh, this came so fast. Search of short form, bold content. For example, the TikTok and the Reels, all that will probably really be working with this energy, Mercury in the sign Aries. Increased mental energy, fast decision making, collective craving for actionable ideas, not just vague theories. Okay. On a high vibration, on a positive side of this, you are going to be very, the collective or you individually, a lot of motivational speaking. You could be listening to motivational podcasts or be inspired by some leaders or a person. Brave new ideas launch with clarity, clear-cut communication with sparks of change. Perfect time to initiate pitches, launches, conversations, focusing on you and that self-brand. This is that great energy when Aries. Now, on a low vibration, right? On the negative side of Mercury in Aries, you could be impulsive, reckless with your speech, a lot of arguments, angry texts, misfires. This is the energy of temper. So a lot of tempers when it comes to communicating or texting online, okay? Speaking over others, ignoring the nuance of what's going on in the room, mental burnout or attention to scattered or being irritated easily. Okay. You're talking about like the Nine of Swords in tarot. So like the Knight of Swords moves fast. It's inputting information. It's also brave when it comes to its words, but also you have that fire element. So it's not afraid. It's very bold. It's going to ignite something. So you have that energy too. So a lot of fiery energy. So maybe like the Knight of Wands, more of that. Okay. But it's a great time to start a blog, a book, a script. If you're trying to start something that deals with communication, this is a time to do it. Pitching ideas or initiating conversations, standing up for your own ideas, having that difficulty but necessary conversation because now you feel up to it, you feel brave enough. Public speaking is great with this energy, content creation, interviews, all that. You're clear, you're more direct with your communication. There's action and ideas put together. You're not just coming up with the ideas, but you actually want to do the ideas. Okay. Less guessing, less on the second guessing and really being like confident in what you're doing, and energetic mental activity. Now I'm going to go over the dates of what's going to happen when we have Mercury entering Aries. And let me go back to the current chart here and let's go to the day. So I do want you to understand that while Mercury is in Aries, and Mercury is going to be in Aries all the way until Mercury moves fast, May 10th, okay? And then it will move into the next sign, Taurus, okay? So that's a whole nother energy. But while Mercury is in Aries, at the beginning, while Mercury enters Aries, and let me scooch it over, Mercury is entering Aries and immediately conjuncts Neptune. So when you have a conjunct Neptune, you're talking about intuitive energy. This is something we haven't experienced this. I'm going to talk about this a little bit later because that happens this week. But you're just talking about intuitive energy, a lot of love, a lot of compassion. We'll get on with the negative energy, but like the divine hotline, right? Watch for illusions in media, though, and deception, because that could be happening, and people lying when they are texting or tweeting is what I really want to say, tweeting. But while Mercury is in Aries at the first beginning, I think all the way until like April 28th, what you see is here, you see a trine, right? So sextile, it's going to kind of trine this Mars here. Mars and Leo, if you see here, is going to trine this Mars and Leo. So while we are thinking and communicating, we have a lot of fire and drive. Trine and fire is a lot of motivation, a lot of spark energy. We have that fire in us, okay? So we're going to be very assertive when communicating, very creative, very driven, very you know, when I think of fire, I just think of like doing an external outside, you know, just a lot of fire powered ideas. So like words are the weapons and the inspirations, and we're going to have passion when we are talking about things and doing things. It's just going to really work out for April in the middle of April. I just want you to understand all the way until the 28th. We have a lot of positive energy when it comes to doing something with our drive and starting something new. Okay. So know that energy is out there, and what you say you are going to do. So if you're trying to lose weight, go ahead and lose weight, especially in Aries, right? Write down your plan of losing weight, and that Mars and Leo is going to make it happen. Okay, so when we keep going, as of let me see. In April 20th is the next thing that I see far as Mercury. And what we have here is, what do we have here? Mercury trine Leo, I just discussed that. April 20th, Mercury conjunct. Oh, I discussed that. Mercury conjunct Neptune. Oh, all the way until May. So I didn't see anything until May. And I'm hoping I didn't miss anything because I was kind of moving fast when I was looking at these transits. But Mercury is going to sextile Jupiter. Jupiter is in the sign Gemini. Gemini is the ruler of Gemini is Mercury. So this is going to work really well with powerful thoughts. This is going to work well with any type of communication across the board, multitasking, speaking your truth, having some ideas, penetrating insight. You're not going to be afraid to talk about the hard stuff. Okay. Now, when things are in sextile, it means you have to do a little bit of work. God put the energy out there. You just have to do it. So you might see through some manipulation and you might speak up. You might be like, nah, fool, you're lying. Okay. Things could be coming to the surface and now you can communicate that. And you're going to be brave in communicating that. You just have to do it. You just have to, God put that out there and was like, someone's going to like nudge you. And now you have to open your mouth, that kind of energy. And it's going to work for you. It's positive. Now on the 6th of May, we also have, I didn't even say before, before that, oh no, that's Venus. Okay, so no, ignore that. Okay, so then we have, Mercury, actually, I didn't even say this. Before that, and this is April 20th. That's what I had the dates wrong. On April 20th, Mercury is going to sextile Pluto. So before it sextiles Jupiter, it's going to sextile Pluto. This again is God's putting the energy out there. You just have to do the work. Okay. So what is the energy? Powerful thoughts, transformative ideas. This is if you have to have some therapy, it's going to be given to you, okay? In a very loving, compassionate way. Or maybe you could be a little deceptive and secretive. It could be happening, but let's say you're dealing with a more positive energy. And there is this sextile means that, look, if you want to put in a work and healing yourself and loving yourself, because this is about yourself, there is some healing aspects here that can work for you, okay? Penetrating insight, not afraid to speak about the hard stuff, really talking about things that are hidden and things that are very mysterious. All that is what you get with this, okay? The lost in the fog, but this can see clearly and it's helping you, all right? So that is what I have for the 20th. And then we had this sextile Jupiter. And then on May 8th, we have Mercury, and it is quincunx. Why are my notes? Mercury's still in a pre-shadow phase. I don't know why my notes are funky, but they are. Okay, so, but let me, it's going to quincunx, not on the 26th. What date is this? It's going to quincunx. Okay. May 8th. Oh, okay. May 8th. May 8th is going to quincunx the South Node here. Okay. The South Node is about releasing. And we're releasing trying to be perfect. We're releasing hard work, criticism. Okay. And now this is talking about speaking of it. And something's going to make you feel uncomfortable with this. Quincunx means there's some tension. You're feeling uncomfortable. And this is May 8th. And someone might say something that makes you feel uncomfortable in the fact that you are criticizing yourself or you are trying to be Miss Perfect. Okay. Or Mr. Perfect. Okay. So this is mental tension. This is past patterns in communication. There's discomfort between your instinct and your precision, like you trying to be perfect. Okay. Karmic clearing around perfect and action. Okay. So just say it already. It's the energy while your trauma brain is whispering, but is it perfect? Should I say it? Should I not? And someone's like, if you just won't ever say it because I got no patience. That is what that energy is. And it could be making you feel kind of uncomfortable. Okay. Now on the 10th of May, Mercury is going to, on the 10th of, well, not on the 10th of May. I don't know why my notes are like that. Okay. So before the 10th of May, here we go. Now May 6th, before May 8th, we have this conjunction between Chiron and Mercury. And when you have the Chiron is the planet of healing. It's the planet of, and when you have Mercury, it's healing through words. Okay. So you have courage to speak up of anything dealing with yourself, anything dealing with being first or impulsive or being brave or courageous. There's some healing with your words. Okay. So vulnerability meets bravery. This is about saying what hurts, but it's making you free. Okay. Yeah. So collectively, this could be someone having some new conversations about healing as well. And then after that, then you have Mercury will enter Taurus. But remember, before it enters Taurus, it will be at 29 degrees. And maybe there'll be some very impulsive or fast things in the news coming out. Aries also represents athletes. I do want you to know. So while Mercury is in a sign athletes, I cannot stand that I'm red. How do I change this red lighting? Anyway, Mercury also represents athletes. You got, I am pink. Do you guys see that I'm pink, or am I just seeing that myself? I can't even look myself because I'm so annoyed. Let me see if I cover. Oh, it's when I scooch it back. Okay, let me stop. Let me stop. Hold up. Hold up. Okay. I'm still red. I'm still red. And I was trying to change it. When I put it close, I'm not red. Okay, you guys probably can't see that. That's annoying me. Anyway, but in a nutshell, Mercury in Aries is about launching your voice. It's about acting on ideas. It's about being bold when it comes to writing, speeches. Also, you guys, a lot of fast driving. You're talking about impulsive buying too, because it's about transactions, learning something and being like learning something new. Also, too, you have that with Mercury in Aries. Healing through honesty, manifesting through action and intuition. Okay. Now back to the chart. And when we go back to the chart here, we have April 16th. Okay, because we are finished talking about Mercury. And now we're back to what we have for the week. And April 16th, we have Mercury is going to conjunct Neptune. I talked about that a little bit briefly, but Neptune is the planet of imagination, dreams, intuition, illusions, deception, secrets, endings. It represents death. Okay, it is the ruler of Pisces, the modern ruler of Pisces. When you have Neptune in Aries, you're talking about the less common transit, right? Because it moves so slow. This is new energy. I have a whole video on this, but in Aries, it's about to manifest your idealistic visions. It's about pioneering spirit and spirituality. I just finished this morning the book Poppy War. That was such a Neptune and Aries book. If you guys ever read that book, but it's like a spiritual leader or someone who is addicted, but then they're brave and they're hot-headed. So it's like someone, someone who's addicted to drugs and they're fighting at the same time. That kind of energy. Okay. Anyway, but now it's conjunct Mercury. Okay. So the conjunction in Mercury. Now on the positive side, you're talking about being open. You're talking about a peaceful mind. You're talking about having gifts of intuition. You're talking about intuitive insights. And you're flowing with your imagination. You feel inspired. You have the ability to receive some patterns because Pisces is all about the pictures of things. So some connections is not really about words, right? But Mercury's there. So now the words are involved. Creative communication, idealistic thinking, a search for higher meaning, a tendency towards some confusion. No, this is when we enter the fogginess. This is when we enter the low vibrations of things. Okay. So it could be some confusion, some misunderstanding, like some wishful thinking, because you're looking at things in a rose-colored lens. There is potential for deception here. Get ready for that when you're listening to the news or on X. Okay. So around middle of this week, pay attention, be like, I don't know if I believe that. Mercury moves fast, so you can do this energy daily, okay? Issues around honesty and clarity. People could be really sensitive. What else do we have here? Blunt meets blurred. So someone can say something really blunt, and you're like, what? It's almost like how Ye tweeted that tweet about DEF CON. And it's like, what the hell does that mean? That kind of energy. Okay. That is like the perfect kind of energy of what I'm talking about. Someone could just say something very bold and you're like confused on why they're saying that. Okay. But a fusion of fiery clarity, dreamy distortion, perfect for manifestation, though, starting something new and guarding yourself. And Aries energy is about starting over too, just so you know. So, very positive when it comes to trying to achieve something and having action towards something, and very negative when it's impulsive and not thinking, and there's secrets and deceptions added to it. Okay, so just be aware of that. And now let's say what we have. Okay, March 17th. Not March, April 17th. Okay, Mars is going to enter, you see it's at Cancer. So before it even enters the Leo energy, it's going to be 29 degrees in Leo. I want you to understand that this could be related to LA if you live in LA, because when it was at Mars, retrograding at Mars in Cancer, it was dealing with the fire. So there could be some type of more closure or something added to that element, just so you know. But there is a rush to close things out. Like me, and all my things in my home. If you guys didn't know, when Mars was retrograding, when it first hit retrograding in Cancer, I had my roof, it was leaking, so we had to redo our roof. I had to move all my business and stuff over here, and then we ordered whatever. Hot mess. It's about to close out, is what I'm saying. This week, a lot of things, if you are trying to fix your home, and I wasn't trying to fix my home, it just happened. So I'm forced to fix it. And while I'm fixing it, I might as well make it look better, right? So you have that energy. Hold up 1 second. Hold on. Let me, hold on. Let me, 1 second.
Hello there, my beautiful souls. I am Danielle Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. Are you ready to take your spiritual journey to the next level? Introducing Danielle's Astro Tarot Elite Club, your exclusive getaway to daily insights, cosmic guidance, and so much more for just $4.99 a month. As a member, you'll receive daily readings designed to align your day with the universe's.
Sorry, my son was at the door. Okay, and he couldn't hear me. All right, so back to Mars entering. Oh, you guys, I have on a kimono. Okay, and the kimono is so long. This is not last time I had a flowy sleeve. This is actually a long kimono. Okay, it is very long, and I almost choked myself sitting on it. Okay, anyway, so now back to Le chart. Okay, and Mars entering Leo. Mars is going to enter Leo April 17th. Okay, so I told you what we had before. If you live in LA, a lot of things with the house. If you had issues with your house, Mars entering, leaving Cancer is going to help in some closing of that. Okay, you could have just been very mild for you, like you're just decorating, maybe fixing some stuff up. Some of you guys, it was really big, like most of LA, it was really big. Well, there's some closing in that. We still have our highway kind of blocked if you live more by the beach. So all that is still blocked off. But I just want you to understand. Now, when Mars enters Leo, okay, this is where we have a big doozy. Usually when Mars is in the sign Leo, we have a lot of fires in LA, but it could be a lot of fires around wherever you are. I just want you to understand that could be a possibility. So it represents war. Mars represents fire. Leo likes conflict. So I'm just giving you that heads up. Now, themes of Mars is action, initiative, desire, passion, anger, conflict, being courageous, bravery, physical energy, your drive, you're assertive. It's going to set some boundaries. Like, no, don't touch that. Okay. It's very competitive. A lot of athletes with this Mars and Leo, a lot of winning, survival instinct. There is sexual expression. So like raw physical side of intimacy. Okay. And feeling confident with that. Also destruction and cutting away. It's representing cuts. It represents removing. It represents sharp objects and weapons. Okay. Now, when you have it in Leo themes are gold, fire. It's an element of fire. It represents children, celebrities. So even like child influencers, okay? The matters of the heart and your self-expression. The opposite sign of Leo is Aquarius. So that's all about the group. But Leo is all about the self, okay? So also creativity and being confident, your personal power, leadership. You're talking about the kings and queens. You're talking about the presidents, okay? Being authentic, romance, grand gestures is very dramatic, and it's like, everyone look at me. Drama, right? Also too, joy, playful. There's pride, there's dignity, there's recognition, and wants to be validated. It's very loyal and protective. It is like the lion. So you literally have some strength, and you have the king of the jungle. Also, Leo is ruled by the sun. So there's a lot of joy. There's a lot of vibrance. There's a lot of radiance. It's glowing, very positive energy. At the same time, could be blinding, a little bit dramatic. Okay. So when you have Mars and Leo, what's the vibe? Okay. The vibe is that you could be confident. You could be a lot of confident action. You could be dramatic. You can have dramatic flair. You could be bold in your pursuits. You have passionate drive. You're not just going to get it, you're going to get it with passion, okay? A lot of ego, because the sun represents the ego. So you have big ego energy, creative motivation, a lot of flirting, because Leo energy loves a romance, darling, okay? So it could be a little flirty and fiery in love. Mars, remember all that action and drive. Leo, you have a bold, very courageous. You're talking about playfulness and pride. So when you have it together, you can have passion-fueled projects. You can be really expressive the way you're dressing and doing things. And when you're trying to become a leader of some sort, a lot of flirtation, a lot of spice. Okay, spicy energy, a lot of drama, conflicts with drama, people speaking up and taking center stage. And you're like, can you just sit down? All that could be happening, right? You could be celebrating and having fun. You could be all about giving and charitable, because Leo likes to give and is very generous. Okay, so big-hearted leadership, driven by joy, purpose, and being authentic. I'm channeling the energy of performing. You could literally be on stage. Now, on the negative side, it's like you are acting out. You want too much attention. Why are we fighting? Why are you so dramatic? Why ego, the ego, power struggles, take offense too easily. Yeah, performative activism. Okay, that all could be happening. But it's great if you're trying to launch something, because you are dealing with that fire element. Remember, it's also working really good trining with Mercury at the beginning, so that's very positive. So yeah, you could take a lead in doing something. All right, and it's really about the self. Now, as we get into it, though, and we talk about the transits while Mars is in Leo, and let me see, Mars 29 degrees. I've discussed that. It's some endings and some emotional energy, and it's closing off. Okay, so something from the past, and you're trying to achieve it, or you're trying to protect your home, and there's some closing with that energy. Okay, then it goes into Mars. Where do we have it? Okay, and Mars is trining Neptune as well. Not just sextile square trine. Yeah, it's trining this energy too. So it's working really positive once it hits Mars and Leo. So the deception and talking is going to work with you trying to achieve things. Okay, the secrets, maybe you're secretly trying to communicate to someone and achieving things, or maybe there's romance in love here. Definitely represents a romantic or self-love, or really loving yourself, but now there's a relationship involved. That could also be happening too. Okay, let me see. Dreams become fuel, instinctive action. This is sacred fire, more like move like you're being guided. Yeah, it's almost like there's divine timing. Divine timing. This also represents divine timing. Okay, now on the 21st of April, Mars is at 1 degrees, and now it is squaring the sun. Okay, so you're talking about things of achieving. Now there's some challenges here. Okay, and you're talking about your ego versus stability, security versus being spontaneous. This doesn't want to be spontaneous. This is like, come on, let's have fun. Okay, so there is some clashes with that, and it could be clashing of the egos, and it doesn't want to change. This is a fixated sign, meaning that it's very stubborn. So look out for that day, especially when you're trying to achieve something or give birth to something or create something new. Okay, now on the April of 25th, we have, this one's a big one. Okay, so this one is opposing, and at the same time, it's still squaring. So this is a T square. The sun, your finances, your self-worth is going to be a big part of this T square. But there is a challenge, and it can't see eye to eye with Pluto. This is a major power struggle. Okay, very explosive. You're talking about testing of the will, the ego, and transformation. You're talking about authority battles. You're talking about leaders having some conflict, and it could be something on social media, and it can't quite see eye to eye. Okay, so just know that that is going to be a big doozy. That is April 25th. I'll get more into details as that comes. And then also too, we have the new moon in Taurus creeping up. And that comes around April 25th. And Mars is squaring that new moon. So you trying to manifest things when it comes to things you value, or your home, or materialism, not in a negative way. So materialistic values, it's not working with your drive and you being center stage, or something from the heart, and you trying to achieve that. It's not really working for you. Okay. And not saying that it won't work. It's just saying that there's a challenge. Now we move all the way into, because it stays in here for a good minute, and then we move all the way to May 18th here. And when we move to May 18th, we have that Mars is going to square Mercury. And now there is challenges when it comes to communicating, challenges when it comes to your day-to-day travel, frictions in conversations. Someone wants to move fast, the other wants to have some tangible proof. That could be happening. Think before you speak, though. Lead with clarity, not just with heat, because this wants to fight, okay? But this one wants to talk about it. And both very stubborn energy. And on the May of 21st, it's positive, though. We have it trining Aries, and now Venus is involved. So loving yourself, or like a strong female leader, and you're trying to achieve something. And this is very fiery energy. This works really good. It could be very flirty because this is about relationships and love and things you naturally attract. You are naturally attracting something new or something that's making you very strong and brave in your life, and it makes you really creative. That could be happening as well. Now on June 5th, is when I saw something next with Mars, and it's going to quincunx our North Node. So us trying to achieve something, our destiny of releasing, forgiving, and letting go, is going to make us feel uncomfortable, okay? There's awkward action. You feel like you have to leap, and your soul's like, no, you need to pause. You need to reflect. And you can't quite see what's going on here. And you're trying to achieve something, but it's making you quite uncomfortable. So just know that that could be a concern for some of us, not all of us. Now on June 10th, you have Mars, and it's going to trine Chiron in Aries. This is great energy because this is all about healing now. So you're healing yourself, do some courageous action. And yeah, and you're showing up for yourself, and you're feeling more confident, whatever this healing aspect is. And of course, it changes for all of us individually because we're all uniquely different. And on June 14th, we have Mars is going to square Uranus. Now, this could be more big for the collective, not just individually. Uranus does represent a lot of things dealing with social media. It represents things that are unexpected. This could be an earthquake in a big way, but like fire and earthquake, because this is the energy of fire. This is the unexpected when it comes to our land and the earth. Taurus represents earth. I do want you to understand that. Expect the unexpected, rebellion, restlessness, tech shakeups. Yeah, because something could be messing up with technology, or flying, or like an airplane catching on fire. Not saying that you can't fly. I'm just letting you know what could be the possibility. Explosion energy. Don't act reckless, but use this to break free from what's limiting you. Disruption can lead to freedom as well. Okay. When you have things squaring, it doesn't mean that the world is ending. It means that there's a challenge, and a challenge is going to make you focus on something better or change the way you're doing things. And the challenge is here to help you, lead you to something better. Okay. Now on the 15th, that is when we have Mars and Leo. It's still having this energy here. Be aware of that. Is at 29 degrees, an urgency again. Last call for Leo. Last call for Leo. So we need you to be bold. We need you to be courageous. We need you to care about yourself. We need you to be very generous. We need you to be the drama king or the drama queen. And hurry up and do this, okay? Because we're about to move on to the next energy, which is Virgo. So you do have that, okay? And when it enters Virgo, it's going to be so precise and refined and boring and so serious about the details of things, but a lot of energy of working out, which we all need to do, okay? Now, back to what we're talking about of this week. So that was Mars entering Leo. Get ready for that. That happens this week. Now, on the 19th of April, happy solar return to all my Taurus. Happy birthday to you guys. Are you doing anything special for Taurus season? Please let me know. I'm curious. But when we have the sun, anytime the sun changes a sign, the sun represents our identity, our vitality, our willpower, our confidence, our ego, our creative expression. It represents leadership and presidency. It represents recognition and direction, father, and the inner light. It also shines a light on things that are needs to be exposed. It's like all of a sudden, let's shine a light. And then whenever it gets too close, it combusts, meaning that it makes other planets not work its best, okay? Because it's shining too brightly. Now, when you have the sun in Taurus, Taurus is a fixed earth sign. First of all, Taurus is the most stubborn sign. You're talking about a mountain that doesn't want to move. You got the Taurus energy, okay? But it represents stability. So there is that part where you can rely because they're loyal. They're not going to move. They're going to be stable. There's sensuality. There's patience. There's value. There's self-worth. There's material wealth. There's loyalty. You're talking about stocks. You're talking about your finances. You're talking about what you value. Also, the throat and the voice. nurture, creativity, resistance to change, grounded confidence. Now, when the sun enters Aries, when the sun enters Taurus, you're talking about things that are very beautiful and simple and nature and quality over quantity, security, financial grounding, focusing on stability and security, appreciating that physical, tangible world. Because Taurus is like, let's enjoy all the sensual pleasures. It wants to move slow. It wants to be deliberate. It enjoys comfort and luxury. Let's take a nap before we do anything, says a Taurus, okay? Enjoyment of comfort and luxury, practicality and groundedness, potential for stubbornness, though, which I cannot say enough, okay? Now, the high vibe of sun in Taurus is that you're building some long-term success. You're being steady. You're having some effort. You're enjoying the small things of life. Like, oh my gosh, I just got the best olive oil ever, and it's infused with garlic, and it tastes so great with my sourdough bread. You're enjoying that. And this slice of toast only cost me $5, and I'm enjoying it. That might be too expensive, but you get the point. It's something very simple. You're reconnecting with your body and your senses. You're enjoying the music. You got the best pillow or the best sheets ever, okay? You're creating beauty with your art. And it looks beautiful, and the food smells good, the music sounds good, everything just feels its best, okay? It's a strong focus on self-worth and what you value as well. You could value your family, you could value your voice, you could value your technology, you could value your creativity, whatever it is. All that's going to be honed into. Now, the shadow side, the low vibe of this is that your resistance to change. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to do it. You don't want to change it. That's an issue, okay? Getting too comfortable and feeling stuck in a rut, overindulging in food, overindulging in luxuries, shopping too much. What is the comfort zone? Because I want to stay in the comfort zone because I don't want to change anything. That is the issue, okay? So letting go of the stubbornness. But you don't want to let it go, so you're blocking your growth. That all could be happening, okay? So we have that. Get ready for Taurus season. Also, I want you to understand the connection between Taurus season and holidays that we have. I like to do this, okay? Like, we have Aries season, we have Easter. On the last day of Aries season is Easter. And so you have the energy of rebirth. You have the energy of resurrection. You have the energy of spring energy, starting new. It's a cardinal fire sign. You're being very courageous. There's an awakening. There's action. There's faith. Now we go into Taurus, and Taurus is Earth Day is April 22nd. So talking about honoring and really loving tangible things in our world, okay? The gardener of the zodiac is what you get with Taurus. Take care of the earth like you take care of your home, okay? Also, too, we have this thing that I looked up. It's called Beltane, and it's a pagan holiday. Just want you to know. But that also is dealing with flowers and sensuality and Earth's abundance. There's a lot of dancing and all that stuff. But there is an element of Taurus energy with that. I don't celebrate it. I don't know anyone who does, but I just want you to know that. Now, Mother's Day is always during Taurus season. And it's very interesting because I've always thought, like, why do we have Father's Day on? I understand why we have Father's Day on around summer solstice, which is the longest day of the year, which is dealing with the sun. The sun represents father. How come we don't have that during winter solstice, Mother's Day? It never makes sense to me, but Taurus is an element of a protector. It's very nurturing. It brings comfort. It's very reliable. It's protective. There is divine feminine energy, right? The ruler of Taurus is Venus. So during Mother's Day, if you always notice, there's always feminine, strong energy. Everyone's wearing their pastels. There's a lot of flowers, a lot of perfume. That's that Taurus energy. It's the senses here. And you celebrate care and comfort and security and unconditional love. That's why they give a lot of spa treatments during Mother's Day. Taurus is going to honor the sense of warmth, the sense of safety, and make you feel well fed. Brunch is a big thing. One Mother's Day, my brother was in charge and I hated it, okay? And never again. We were supposed to go to a brunch place, but we went to like a Cuban place and it was all steak, all meat, no brunch. Literally all meat. That is a man thing, okay? Far from Venus. I don't even know what the astrological aspects were that day. I'm going to actually look that up, and we'll to be continued on that. Also, too, during Taurus season, a lot of strawberry festivals happening. You go pick some strawberries. A lot of farmers markets too are really big during Taurus season. So like food indulgence, cooking, feasting, and being close to the earth, Mother Earth. So you have all that. Okay. What else do we have? Oh, let me talk about the sun. and what the sun is going to be doing during Taurus season. And we are going to start on the 21st. Because that's the first thing that I saw. And on the 21st, we have the squaring of Mars. Okay. It's like, oh my gosh. Now it's Taurus season. Now we got our ego and our pride versus our expression versus some leadership conflict. Okay. It's always about the drive when these two come together and it's not working as best. It's going to have some challenges. And then as we get on, the sun continues to have some challenges with the T square here. This T square that we're talking about, and I discussed this earlier, but again, some transformation, power struggle alert. This is what it is. Some deep transformation, exposure, breakdowns, and control. Okay. Taurus may want some peace. Pluto wants the truth. And you can't have peace with the truth. Well, you can after you get the truth out. Okay. So you have that. Now, again, also too, we have this new moon coming up, and a new moon in Taurus, and it's about money, beauty, security, creativity, and your worth. And there is some issues, some challenges going on with this energy. We'll talk about that as the new moon, when we talk about the new moon. And then as of May 12th, then we have the full moon. And the full moon is going to be in the sign Scorpio, and you have it conjunct Uranus. Okay, so expect the unexpected with this full moon. Scorpio is a very emotional moon. It's about releasing some control, some fear, some intimacy, something dealing with some shared finances here, and you can expect the unexpected with that. So get ready. It's always intense for a Scorpio full moon, but it'll be fine for my Tauruses. You guys might be fine. Okay. Now on the 15th of May, which is my daughter's birthday, the sun is going to sextile the North Node. And when it's sextile square trine is going to trine the South Node. So it's going to really work well with releasing something, and you're going to gain something at the same time in what you're supposed to be doing in regards to your spirituality, in regard to some closure, in regards of trying to be perfect. It's going to align very well. My daughter will love to hear that. On the 17th of May, the sun is going to conjunct Uranus. Again, this could be some major earthquake energy here whenever we're dealing with Taurus. Get ready for that. Sudden shifts, awakening, breakthroughs, or collective shakeups. There could be some surprises in finances if it's not going to be an earthquake. Some finances, some weather systems. What you value, all that. It could be happening. Okay. Now on the 20th of May, we have the sun now before it enters Gemini. It's going to be at 29 degrees. And this is where it's like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Again, that critical degree, we have to close things out. What is stable? What's not stable? What are we thinking long-term? How are we making this environment feel comfortable? We have to hurry up and figure that out because we have to take our nap. This is our last nap before we have to talk things through. Okay. So get ready for that, because when the sun enters Gemini, it wants to talk, think, share, and move. And it's like, I got to quickly take my nap or we won't be able to do this. Okay. So to wrap it up, during Taurus season, you're talking about security and control. You're talking about the ego, balancing off some action and some drive, and it's not working very well. Some money, possible earthquake, stability, change. Yeah. So get ready for that. Now, back to now this week, okay, we have that same day when the sun enters Taurus. That same day, we also have Mars is going to trine Neptune, which I did discuss already, but I just quickly want to tell you that it's about bold artistic expression, intuitive downloads, romantic and sexual energy, speaking or leading with a vision, charisma, magnetic warmth. You could be very spiritually or creative. Yes, and it's giving you life. Okay. Gentle and sensitive. Gifts of compassion and compassionate, yeah, because it's charity and enlightened non-action. Okay, don't just dream it, become it, and don't be afraid to make it dramatic. Okay, you have that energy as well. And let me see what else we have here. What is this? Collective energy. Okay, I do want you to know that this is new. Okay, so Neptune is in Aries. This is new. We haven't experienced Neptune in Aries. We've experienced Neptune in Pisces, now Neptune in Aries. So we got a lot of desire, a lot of soul connection, and we're going to see something new, baby, popping off. Let's see what will happen? Get ready for this energy. Mars doesn't move fast, so it moves kind of slow. Mars also represents the military. Do know that. So there could be something with that, or something just very creative. This is a trine, so it's positive. I do want you to understand that. So yeah, when you have Neptune, it's compassion, it's love, it's oneness. When you have Mars, it is conflicts, it is war. And there could be some oneness when it comes to some type of conflict, like we're all in this together kind of energy. Not saying that we're having a conflict. I just want you to understand how this could be translated. I'm just translating the vibe in the sky. Okay. Now on the 20th of April, we have the sun again squaring. This is the main theme, this T square of annoyance. Okay. Now it officially happens April 20th. And it doesn't mean that you're going to feel it April 20th. You can feel it before. This is going to affect all of my my fixed signs of my Aquarius is going to affect you, and it's going to affect all my Scorpios. Okay. Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpios, Leos. Doesn't mean that you are that and you will feel it, because you can have a late degree and not even feel this. But if you have it in early degrees, you are going to feel this. Okay. Now, again, Sun and Mars, you're talking about hot-headed. You're talking about insensitive. You're talking about competitive. You're talking about obnoxious. You're talking about that machismo. I'm a man. And it's very extroverted. Everyone sees it. Okay. Clash of the egos, the clash of will and desire, tension between stability and expression, potential for stubbornness, ego clashes, challenging with taking action, needing to balance the self-awareness with consideration of others. Okay. Frustration, being irritable. Yeah. So get ready for that. That is going to for sure happen. And on the 21st, then we have the sun. This is going to be the last day, but not the sun. Saturn is going to conjunct the north. Look at all this here. The stallion here. Venus is evolved. It's all been sitting here for a good minute, but now it's at exact energy. It's at 26 degrees. 26 degrees is dealing with something we value. So we're going to be valuing something in love. There could be a releasing, a forgiving. Now, Saturn represents the fears, and this is our destiny. This is something that we are achieving and getting. Okay. Saturn is structure. It's the government. It's restriction. It's the people in those uniforms. Discipline, karma, maturity, long-term commitments. The North Node is our soul's purpose. It's our future direction. It's the collective growth. Okay. Pisces, ending, spirit, dreams, faith, unconscious, divine timing. Okay. So now it's like you planted the seeds and now there's divine timing. Are you going to plant the seeds for divine timing in the future? Okay. This could be some type of thing of responsibility, and we're in love. Something very feminine is going to be a part of this aspect too. This could be literally a woman. This could be a team. This could be a relationship. This could be something that's just very beautiful and aesthetically pretty. Okay. Facing your fears and limitation, defining spiritual and emotional boundaries, manifesting your dreams through discipline, karmic lessons in compassion and service, long-term spiritual development. All this could be added on with a female by your side, or a partner by your side, or a loved one by your side. Venus also represents partners, harmony and balance. This also could be doing something with law. So something could be on Monday, not on Monday, but around that time coming up, something could be affecting you with law. And now there is justice and there's fairness, but then it's very serious. And it could be just the start of something that's dealing with the long term, but it's going to help you in your future. Okay. Spiritual mastery becomes a collective lesson. Emotional and energetic boundaries become sacred. Karmic, this represents karma. Okay. Soul contracts are activated, turning dreams into devotion. Get ready for that. Now it's a conjunction. Conjunction is strong. It means that we're going to see it. Someone's going to be affected by this if it's not going to be you. And also too, it means that it's good and bad. Okay. So you could be having the fears of this new thing coming in, having the fears of this new person coming in to help you with your future, or it's like too strong, like you're blinding the future. I don't think it's blinding. I just think it be helping. Now, also to ending something, there's a releasing of something to help you in this lifetime. Okay. To help you with your soul's plan as well. Okay. That is what we have for the collective. I'm going to do some tarot real quick, and I'm going to do it for elements because I did do this video late, but it's okay. This is going to work out for you. So this is for all my water signs, and my water signs, you are saying Cancers, Pisces, Scorpios. Oops. what did I say? Cancers, Scorpios, Pisces, this is for you. We have the queen of emotions this week, okay? You guys are going to be thinking about charity. You're going to be thinking about matters of spirituality, all the Pisces energy that I was discussing, even being nurturing and motherly, compassionate. Did I say compassionate? Charitable. I said that. Releasing, forgiving. You are going to be in your bag of being nurturing when it comes to your emotions, okay? A lot of self-care and a lot of love for others when it comes to emotions. People are coming to you as the emotional leader, okay? And you're going to be giving them the love that they need, okay? So I need you this week to be emotionally compassionate and to be emotionally, the IQ of emotions high, because you are giving. You're going to be nurturing. You're going to be loving. You're going to be loving yourself, okay? You're going to be talking out of love. You're going to be thinking in love. You're going to be thinking about others, not necessarily before you think of yourself, but a lot of your cup is full, so you're going to be able to fill someone else's cup. Does that make sense? That is what we have with the Queen of Emotions. Also, too, pay attention to divine timing. Do not think like, oh, okay, because it's supposed to happen at this time. No, what is the divine timing telling you? And also, too, this is very intuitive energy. Pay attention to your intuition this week. Water, this is you being you. And it's saying to be the strongest you possible. Do not be apologetic. If you're like, I feel the energy in a room and doesn't feel right, I don't care what the tangible I'm feeling the abstract and you guys cannot comprehend. Who cares? This is saying to be your true self. So if you're feeling something emotionally or intuitively, if your dreams told you something and you believe it, okay? Because this is the week to be your strongest self. Now, as far as my fire signs, and my fire signs are my Leos, my Aries. What can I think of? Sagittarius. Sorry, this is for you guys. And we have the Ace of Emotions in a reverse. So the Ace of Emotions means that God was giving you an opportunity to really feel. And you were not doing that, okay? You missed the opportunity. God gave you new inspiration, not new inspiration, new energy of spirituality. God has something for the divine timing and you're missing out. I'm wondering if you are being conflict or there's conflict or you're like missing the point of the emotions. You're just so fired up. You're like, I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry. I don't want to feel. You're missing the opportunity to feel this week, okay? And what can you do when you're not feeling? It has the stars in reverse, okay? The stars in reverse is saying when you're not feeling, it's because you're not being present. You're just thinking about the future. Stop thinking about the future. Also, too, it's also like you're not trying to, the star card represents Aquarius, and Aquarius represents the community. It represents the world. It represents being rebellious, but it's a humanitarian. So the human race, okay? But it's like you're lacking that department. You're like, I don't feel empathetic for others. I don't feel like they have to have a cause, and you're missing that opportunity. So something this week is going to cause that for you, fire sign. So wake up. Also, too, the star card represents your future. There's something that God has given you. You missed this emotional opportunity. It's okay. It could also be inward, that you're expressing this inwardly and you're not expressing it outwardly. And now this is causing a disruption in regards to your future and your hopes and dreams. Okay. So just something that you should know. Pay attention to your emotions all this week. It's not that it's destined. It just means that you need to pay attention to your emotions. All right. All right. I will see you next time. And now this is for my earth signs. So my earth signs, I tried to make sure it wasn't reversed, but it's still reversed. Earth signs, this is my Taurus, my Virgos, my Capricorns. This is for you. And we have the 5 of inspiration in reverse. Oh, this is great. All my earth signs, you're going to be really grounded. You're not going to be fighting. You're not like, I'm not with that competition this week. You may have a lack of drive this week, but that's okay. Just don't be in conflict. Stay under the radar. Focus on helping people become grounded, logical, and practical, okay? That is your job of this week, but it looks like you're pretty positive this week. It's really good for you, okay? And lastly, all my air signs, I'm mad that it's in reverse. Okay, here we go. It says it's not in reverse, but let's see. Air signs, what do we have? Page of materials. Air signs, there's going to be a message come your way for as finances and health. There's also some curiosity for you this week about your health, or some curiosity with you this week about some finances, okay? Something tangible. Of course, we got Taurus energy, and it looks like you're going to be starting new when it comes to the Taurus energy, like the sensibility, gardening, going outside, figuring out why is Mother Earth so amazing. And you guys are going to really be living in that element again this week, okay? Or if you're not already in that, you're really going to be feeling it this week. All right. I will see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye bye.